Good afternoon, Brown. I grew up in Cairo, and there, at the base of the pyramids, in a city of 25 million people, I was small, really small. I learned to be quick, precise, and efficient. Moving around Cairo was a calculated and optimized affair. And when I came to Brown, I brought that same efficiency with me. I walked from Andrews to the Rati, 12 minutes. Andrews to the Rock, 11 minutes. And on my best days, I could do it in 8. Headphones in, mind elsewhere. The space between where I was and where I was going was just that. Space. Something to get through. I recall that many of us moved like that when we first got here, anxious about not knowing anyone yet. This all changed one evening freshman year. I was walking home and I stopped by a friend's dorm. Someone who I admittedly had a bit of a crush on was there. She looked at me and said, "I saw you walking down Thayer Street yesterday. I called your name, but you had your headphones in. You didn't even hear me." Disastrous news. And so the next time I walked, headphones out, phone in my pocket, eyes on the road, on the lookout for her. I didn't see her, but I did start to notice the trees. The light shone beautifully through the elms on Patriots Court in the late afternoon, and so I made sure to pass them. A little later, I noticed the pink marble columns outside the Joukowsky Institute with the elephants on top. I passed by those as well. And then, the candles in the window of University Hall, I passed by those as well. And so the 8-minute walks turned into 14-minute walks. Out of my way, a little longer, but more here. More present. It wasn't the speed that had changed. It was my availability. How I was moving through Brown was how I was making it mine. And then came the greatest distraction of all. Great people. I'd rarely run into anyone in Cairo, but here, as we've all seen this week, you are constantly running into someone. And so I started stopping. Not a nod or a wave. I stopped. And you stopped too. Something about this place teaches us that the person in front of you is more important than wherever you're headed. 14-minute walks turned to 25-minute walks. Out of my way, a little longer, but more here, more present. Walking with me now is slow. The stops are frequent, but I'm not the exception here. Brown has made slow walkers out of so many of us. Because people here choose to be curious about what we study, about what we do, and most importantly, about each other. I learned to be okay with the lingering. Those minutes were never lost. They added up. Because slowly, in those inefficient, unoptimized, unscheduled minutes, we built a life. The campus got smaller as my world got bigger. When I couldn't go home to Egypt one year, Brown opened its doors. I received 27 invitations to stay at classmates' homes. 27 families in this audience invited me to stay at their homes. Those doors stayed open. Seats were saved in lecture halls. ponchos were shared in the never-ending Providence rain. And it wasn't just my classmates. A smile from Sue at the Blue Room. A game of tag on the main green, joined by Caroline from the security team. And later, by President Paxton herself. That's what Brown is. That's who we are. We just show up. And that never came from beating Google Maps ETAs or optimizing my routes. It came from giving attention to those walks. How we move through the world is how we make it ours. And we made Brown ours. We walked on Brown's brightest days. Days that, when recorded and put on TikTok, received millions of likes, with comments reading, "I didn't know places like this actually existed." We walked on Brown's darkest days. December 13th is a day we will never forget. Hamad Aziz and Ella were part of this campus, part of these walks. On that terrible, dark day in December, many of us walked, many of us ran towards each other. Alumni reached out from across the world. Local businesses offered whatever they could. We moved towards one another. We walked towards one another. And that wasn't new. We'd been doing that long before we knew we needed to. On the first day of spring, we walked towards the main green, making it ours with hammocks and spike ball nets. We walk in and out of classes, gathering in loose clusters, not in any particular rush, but lingering because we were making time for each other. And sometimes we even run naked across campus with donuts. Everything that made Brown home was something I almost walked past. A tree I didn't notice. A voice I didn't hear. A person I almost walked past. But you stopped me. Through our walks, we built a life here. So get lost in your walks. Let the world surprise you. Walk towards the challenges. Walk towards what scares you. Walk alone if you have to, because at Brown, we learn to chart our own course. Remember why you walk. Remember who you walk for. And most importantly, walk at your own pace. Time is the one thing that we will never get back. And because of how we perceive it, it speeds up as we age. So take care of it. Don't postpone the walks that you've been meaning to take. The world isn't fixed. It's fluid. It moves. And as we walk through it, we shape it. Our footprints change it. 4 years ago, I timed my routes. I don't think I could anymore. Brown changed us. When we leave here, we'll be tempted to speed up again. Headphones in, mind elsewhere. We'll be tempted to treat space as something to get through, not something to belong to. But there will be quiet invitations. The extra block, the few minutes you technically don't have, those unscripted moments define what it means to live. They teach us how to be open to new possibilities, how a campus becomes a home, how community forms, and how a city could become a home. Wherever we go next, that place will not give itself to us. How we move through it is how we will define it. And we know how to do that because we did it here at Brown. 4 years ago, I walked through Brown trying to get somewhere. But you stopped me. And we've been stopping ever since. And so, wherever we go next, on any street, in any city, in any country, I hope someone calls your name. I hope you take your headphones out. And I hope you stop. And then, I hope you walk. Walk with each other. Walk towards each other. Congratulations, class of 2026. We made it.